Hey everybody, good afternoon. Listen, I want to share something because I think it is probably the best thing that I've heard on the radio. Now, it's internet radio, but I was on there and I was really listening to the show, and it's very super, I think, educational, informative, and I loved it. I don't think I'm gonna ever miss a show. When I know it's coming up, I'm gonna be watching it, or not really watching it, but listening to it. Not only that, but I'm downloading each show from now on. And I got me a thing of CDs, right? So I can put it in my computer, I can burn it on my computer, put them up in my CD case, flop it into my CD player, and I can go down the road and I can listen. Jerry Yacht has a show that he does on internet radio, and today's topic was about speed limiters. I loved it. It was like I was in here drinking my coffee. I was in here drinking my coffee and just listening. And it actually, when you're listening to something, or like you're watching a movie or something, but when you're listening to something that is very interesting, it can take me outside my element here. Actually, I was really, because I put the headphones on and I just, listening. So this ain't really a video, but I'm going to share this with everybody. Just take the time and check it out, and listen. And I'm going to put the link to that underneath for sure, because I want you guys to chime in and listen to this. I really do, because I think personally myself, I have XM radio in here and I listen to the Road Dog. And other than Dave Nemo and a few other shows out there, I think it's got the Road Dog channel beat. I think XM radio needs to get a hold of Jerry Yacht. And then maybe Jerry Yacht and XM Radio get together, and maybe Jerry Yacht should have a show on XM Radio on Road Dog. It's my opinion. If it's something that I like, I really like to spread it, and what best way to do that than on the internet? I want you guys to check this out and just listen. Enjoy it. I'm telling you right now, it will have your full concentration. You will love it. That I guarantee. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you guys later. Now, on with the show.
You're listening to Big Rig Talk on Spreaker Web Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, yes sir, Bob. Welcome to Big Rig Talk. I'm back, just like we said we would be. It is October 8th, 2016, and somewhere in the world it is one of those time zones that I just mentioned. And of course today, as usual and every day, we've got Eric in the box with us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Eric.
Good afternoon, everybody.
That's it?
That's it. It's dreary outside, and we're supposed to go to some farm later on, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be wet, muddy, and ugly.
Yeah.
You're going to come home with one muddy kid.
Maybe they'll let me take the Jeep out in the field.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, hey, bring a tow cable because you might need it.
Yeah. What are you saying?
It's going to be a cornfield and it's going to be muddy, especially with the rain that we've had.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, we had a nice week though.
We most certainly did.
Yeah.
So I can't complain there. As you know, the kid was in from England and had fantastic weather the entire time. So that was great timing in her part. But hey, they're gone. They're back to England, and life has to resume to normal now.
That's right.
Whatever normal was, we're not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what normal is.
No, we definitely don't. Oh, lordy. So, but at any rate, anything new and exciting other than going to the farm?
Not really. It's I mean, I had to go clothes shopping last night because we're doing pictures on Monday, family pictures, and I guess I needed new clothes because my wife didn't like what I had. So, I wish I had a wardrobe like hers, She's got her summer clothes and her winter clothes. I just got clothes. It's like today I'm wearing shorts. It's, 10 degrees outside today and I'm wearing shorts.
Well, I was wearing shorts originally and then had to go to the grocery store on my grocery. I tell you what, I am not going grocery shopping again on a Saturday.
Oh, no, it's horrible.
How friggin' impossible is it? I mean, you want to talk about the rudest people in the world in a grocery store. It's like you're going along and, okay, I understand it's crowded, there's lots of people, so, you got to be polite, give way, just use courtesy in the grocery store, not to block people or, stand in the middle of the aisle, taking up the whole aisle while you're looking for an item. And,
or stop to talk on the cell phone.
Yeah, and not let anyone buy. But it's amazing how many freaking ignorant SOBs. I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to keep this polite. This is a family show. So that are out there shopping on Saturdays. And it's unreal. I mean, I was going down the aisle and there was this lady and her husband just standing there. They weren't actually looking at anything on the shelf. She was looking at her grocery list, double checking. She could see that I wanted to get to where she was standing. She looked at me twice, looked back at her grocery list, didn't even move. So I just got to the point where I just bumped her cart right into her, and she gave me a dirtiest ass look afterwards. I so wanted to say something, but I just kept my mouth shut, grabbed my item, pretended like I didn't even notice that I bumped her cart, went back to my cart, and just carried on, right? But I so wanted to say something to her after she gave me that dirty look.
Jerry, you know what I do with people like that, especially guys, because we're vulnerable to anything, right? So what I do when somebody gives me that kind of attitude is when they're not looking, I start removing stuff from their cart.
No,
because just imagine, okay, you have a cart full of stuff, and Linda asks for a specific item. And then you get home and that item is not there. And you've put it in the shopping cart.
Oh, that would be freaking too funny. I got to try that one.
Well, that's what I do. If you ever bumping into a guy and the next thing you know, half your stuff is missing, that was me.
Yeah. But see, I like I told Linda today, I'm going to just continue doing my groceries during the week because it's just so much easier. There's nobody there. I can, take up the entire aisle and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have serious road rage in the grocery store.
Shopping cart rage.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Spill on aisle 10.
That's right.
So, okay. Call the wrecker out. Overturn shopping cart.
That's right.
Close down the lane.
But like my biggest pet peeve in the grocery stores is you got your aisles, right, and then you got the end aisles. And then it's when people are in the aisle and then they stop right at the opening and they look in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how can you see what's at in the middle of the aisle?
Actually,
just come in.
I'm guilty with that because I do that too because I know all the aisles, right? Yeah. But I don't always necessarily remember. I'm like, okay, I'm looking for this. And I just look down and then it kind of comes back to me. Okay, no, it's not in this aisle. And then I keep going, right? Instead of going down. But I'm definitely not going shopping on a freaking Saturday ever again. No. That was just...
It's okay if you go shopping before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I'm still in coffee mode at that point.
Yeah, my son wakes up at 7, so.
Yeah. Well, although I was up at 6:30 today, I've been tossing and turning since 5:30. For some odd reason, I had the bright idea going to bed at 10 o'clock at night last night. Well, I was awake a little early. 6:30, I get up, and the wife goes, "Where are you going?" I'm going, "I'm getting up. I just can't sleep anymore." So, and then, she said, "Oh, do you mind if I sleep?" I think you sleep as long as you want. I get downstairs, the kettle isn't even hardly going. And here she is coming down the stairs. I'm going, "I thought you wanted to sleep in." She goes, "I can't anymore."
Oh man, let's switch.
So, and then she was up an hour and took a nap already.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she fell asleep in her chair.
Oh.
Sitting in front of the computer. I don't know how that woman does it, but she does it.
Yeah, I can't sleep sitting.
Falls asleep sitting straight up, her head cocked over, and just hand on the mouse and sleep.
Well, maybe, actually, no, I'm not going to say it because I'll end up in trouble. Because if you do it, then she'll...
Don't do it if you know it's good for you.
Yeah.
So anyways, want to say hi to Jason, who's currently watching and online. He says afternoon. All right, so just before we go to the break here, I want to get this out there for today's topic, which, by the way, is idea and brought to us by Jason, and also the article was sent to me by Bill. So we're going to give props to Bill and Jason. Thanks for helping out with this week's topic. And Bill sent me quite a number of articles, but a lot of them had nothing to do with speed limiters and other things. But I did find this one, and I just thought it pretty much sums it up. And I'm going to read it out here real quick before we go to break. Give anyone that may be listening or chiming in or joining in a chance to ponder this thought. And so we'll just read it off. This comes from, what article is it? The Truth, why is this? ATAC, The Truth About Cars. I don't know what that has to do with trucking, but it made it into their news feed. So, and it's from August 27th, 2016. So I guess this is when this was introduced. So we'll just read it off here, verbatim here, so that nobody says that I'm putting words into their mouth. All right, so it starts off. The U.S. Department of Transportation wants to mandate speed limiting devices on all tractor trailers and buses in the country in a bid to save lives and fuel. I tend to chuckle when I read that part, but anyway, announced and that was just me ad-libbing putting that in, announced yesterday by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which I guess would have been August 26th. The proposal would limit vehicles with a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,000 pounds or more to 60, 65, or 68 miles per hour. Other speed limits could be considered, but that's up to the public to debate. The government claims the proposed rules could save $1.1 billion in fuel costs each year, as well as reduce traffic fatalities. This is basic physics, said NHTSA administrator. I have no idea what NHTSA stands for, but anyway, Mark Rosekind in a news release. Even small increases in speed have large effects on the force of impact. Setting the speed limit on heavy vehicles makes sense for safety and the environment. Carriers operating commercial vehicles on U.S. interstates would be required to maintain the speed limiters for the service life of the vehicle. The three proposed speed limits fall below that of most interstates, except for 7 northeastern states, Alaska and Hawaii. Other countries and jurisdictions have already mandated use of speed limiters, including the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec, which limits heavy trucks to 105 kilometers an hour or 65 miles per hour on Canada's busiest highway, Highway 401, between Windsor, Ontario, and the Quebec border. And I'm just going to add in here, it's actually all over Ontario and Quebec, not just limited to the 401. But anyway, a common sight and complaint is lines of tractor trailers attempting to pass each other at nearly the same speed. The proposal has a friend in the American Trucking Association, which petitioned the federal government to mandate speed limiters nearly a decade ago. Speed is a major contributor to truck accidents, and by reducing speeds, we believe we can contribute to a reduction in accidents and fatalities on our highways, said ATA President and CEO Chris Spear in a release. As an industry, we cannot be afraid of technology, but we also must make sure the technology has proven benefits. Carriers who already voluntarily use speed limiters have found significant safety as well as fuel efficiency and equipment lifespan benefits with little to no negative impact on productivity. We will be carefully reviewing the commenting upon today's proposal. The Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, which represents small business truckers, slammed the proposal, saying it would lead to more crashes and road rage. I agree with this one. Highways are safest when all vehicles travel at the same relative speed, said Todd Spencer, Executive Vice President of OOIDA, in a release. This wisdom has always been true and has not ever changed. Spencer added that speed limiters would prevent truck drivers from accelerating to avoid a dangerous situation. No technology can replace the safest thing to put in a truck, which is well-trained driver, he stated. Whether you love it or hate it, the government is collecting feedback on proposal at www.regulations.gov. And there you have it. That's the story. So we've got a couple minutes here. I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. For you guys now, you can chime in on what I've said. You can, whether it be call in through Skype at Big Rig Talk on Skype, or you can chime in the comments section in the live chat, and I'll respond to that. I'm, of course, going to be giving my thoughts and what that story all put out, and I'm going to kind of dissect it a little bit. So hopefully that will spark a little interest on you guys, and we can get some feedback from you. Other than that, that's about it for that story. I guess we're going to go to break, Eric. All right, we're going to break. So as soon as we come back, we're going to dissect.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig Talk. If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slot, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
Are we on? Oh, we're on. Okay. There we go. Technical glitch. The thumbs up was kind of like, are we on? Are we not on? Like, what the heck was that? It was like a flash in the pan there. It's like, what the heck, Eric?
Maybe we need like a paintball gun, you know?
Oh,
Shoot you. We're on air.
That could be painful. So, at any rate, let's see. We're going to dissect this thing. And I want to hear from you guys, your thoughts on speed limiters. So let's go back to the story here, and we're going to, like I said, dissect this. I love the first line where it says, in a bid to save lives and fuel. I'm thinking it's going to do more damage in lives. And the only reason I say this, and they said it in their own story in their own words, that you're going to now have trucks that, I mean, they said it like Ontario, Quebec. You've got long lines of trucks trying to pass each other doing the same speed because, unfortunately, some drivers have no common sense to say, well, wait a second, this guy's doing 104, I'm doing 105, my max speed, and now I'm going to try to pass this guy. Maybe I should just, go that 1 kilometer an hour slower and just stay behind him because it's going to take 2.5 hours or 23 miles to get past this guy without caring about what's coming up behind or anything. So that's... And I can see people getting confused in cars because how many states have the dual speed limits? Now, if you're going to speed limit trucks, you're going to speed limit them. Let's say we'll go in the middle of what they said there, 65. They did 60, 65, or 68. Let's say they do it at 65 miles an hour, which is the same thing as Ontario, Quebec, 105 kilometers an hour. How many states have 70, 75, 80 mile an hour speed limits? So you're going to have these speed limited trucks at 65. Cars that can do 70 to 80 miles an hour speed limit, they're going to do 10 faster than the speed limit, or at least 5, are now going to be coming up to this slow-moving truck, not being paying attention, and going to slam into the back of it. And somehow the truck is going to get blamed for going too slow. Or the truck will have pulled out to pass somebody, the slower speed, and all of a sudden here comes this 80-mile-an-hour car. It's going to slam into the back of it because that truck is going to just come up to it so fast that it's not even going to realize that the speed of the truck is so much slower. I mean, how many people in Ontario now give us the bird, flip us the bird, give us the finger, yell at us out the window, honk their horns, pull in front, slam on the brakes because they were pissed off they had to stay behind the truck while it tried to pass another truck that didn't want to let it pass? Because a lot of people on four-wheelers have no clue that the trucks are speed limiters in them. So it's crazy that they even cited that. They also mentioned in one segment here about public debate. Now, there's not going to be any public debate. Let's face it. When FMCSA gets something in their head, they're only offering public debate because that's what they legally have to do. They have to put it out to the public, but they already have their rules set. They exactly know what they're going to do. They already have commented saying, 60, 65, or 68. So it's just going to be the legislators that decide, let's see what speed are we going to put it at. I'm going to guess it's going to be 65 miles an hour is what you're going to see when it does come into effect. Now, on the good side of this, yes, it will save money. You will save fuel. The trucks are not really designed to be doing 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Even though, yes, they will go that fast. And yes, a lot of drivers say, oh, I can do that fast, no problem. Well, let's face it, you go with an 80,000-pound load at 70 or 80 miles an hour, and you try to stop. You're going to plow through a long line of traffic. I mean, already as it is, we see it. Guys doing 60, 65 miles an hour, go to slam on the brakes, and it takes them 400, 450 feet to stop, slamming through 10, 12, 14 cars. And, these big accidents that happen already. And I think speed limiters is a product of our own screw-ups. Drivers in general cannot govern themselves. We've proven it time and time again, and I hate to really slam on drivers on this, and I don't want anyone to take personal offense, but it is a proven fact. We cannot self-govern ourselves. We don't do a good enough job, so the government steps in, but unfortunately the government decides they want to do more than what they should, and they get carried away in the name of quote-unquote safety. Everything's done in the name of safety, even though, well, that's a crock of horse dewey. You know it, I know it, and so does the rest of the world. But, hey, neither here nor there. There's nothing we can do about it. Government has got their hands in the pot because it's a commercial vehicle, and we're regulated by the government, so they're just going to keep doing it to keep all these safety groups happy. And the more we don't clean our own act up and do things properly, the more they're going to push on us. The other example is electronic logs, the ELDs. They want to push and make mandatory. But that, again, is a topic for another show. So let's get back to dissecting this here. What shall we go to? Does anyone have any comments? That's the question. Jason, same here. I'm using my phone. Oh, okay. I know, I'm making weird noises, aren't I? I'm trying to read comments here real quickly.
The thing is, I noticed too with these speed limiters, if you try to merge on the highway and the truck doesn't have enough speed, say to beat a car that's on the left lane, in the left lane, to make way for the merging traffic. I've seen a lot of bottlenecks, especially when I lived in the GTA.
I'm sorry. Apparently, so not to cut you off there, the GTA is bad for that.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're fading in and out.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that's what Jason was saying, and Bill, I think. So, anyways, John, welcome to the show. Chris, welcome to the show. So back to the story here. Don wants to know what's the ugly. Well, that's anything to do with speed limiter is really ugly. All right, so yeah, in this one section, they were saying that speed limiters are in effect in Ontario, Quebec, and they only cited for the 401. I don't know if maybe they're not smart enough to realize, but once you put a speed limiter in a truck, it's not just designed for a specific highway. It's for every highway. It doesn't matter where you go. It's there. 401's not the only one with the 100-kilometer-an-hour speed limit. But what I don't like is, okay, you have speed limit to 100 kilometers an hour. And our speed limiters are set to 105. And I know on my headset I'm hearing this coming in and out, so I'm just moving my microphone. And we'll see if that's any better. So we're set at 105 kilometers an hour, 65 miles per hour. And when you look at it, it's 5 kilometers an hour faster than the posted speed limit. So that's not bad. Your speed limit's 100, we can do 105. And what I find is everyone seems to say, well, the truck is limited to 105, so I'm going to do that 105, which in reality is not the safest thing to be doing. So let's say you have a front steer tire blow out on you. Now, any professional driver, any good driver knows what you're supposed to do when you have a steer tire blow on you. You're supposed to step on the gas, not let go of the gas, because if you let go of the gas, the truck's going to pull left or right. If you go for the brake, the truck's going to pull left or right. So if you step on the gas, it's actually going to even out and keep you going straight. But if you're doing the max speed of 105 kilometers an hour or 65 miles an hour, how are you supposed to step on the gas? You can't. And then I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a safety issue. You know, you're gonna limit me to a 65 miles an hour. And if I have, and I've heard drivers use this excuse, if I have a steer tire blow out, how am I supposed to, do the proper thing? Well, here's an idea. Don't do 65 miles an hour. If your truck is limited to a specific speed, and I know some companies have their trucks limited to even less, how about you do 3 to 5 miles an hour less than what your truck is limited to? Now, I know there's a lot of you that actually despise that thought of having to do less than what you want to do. I know a lot of people come up with the thought, oh, well, it goes against my rights. I should be able to drive as fast as I want. If the speed limit's whatever, I should be able to do that. There should be nothing to tell me I can't do that. But what you don't understand, you're not driving your car. You are driving a federally regulated truck. It's not just provincial. It's not just, done by local government. It's federal. So if they say we only want the trucks going this speed, then that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. They're going to mandate it no matter what. Everyone says, oh, we should have the right for this and that. But, it's not going to happen. They've got it in their head. They're going to do it. Just look at the hours of service crap that went on there for so long. Any rate, okay, so we've changed mics here on the fly just quickly as I'm going to interrupt this. So hopefully if we're sounding a little bit better, so Jason or whoever can chime in. I think Eric is micless now.
Yeah, we'll switch during the break.
Oh, okay. So, any rate, and in case you didn't hear that, we're going to switch during the break. All right, so what the heck was I saying? See, squirrel. I got the squirrel syndrome, man. Okay, so, yeah, back to this. So, how hard is it? Like, I know I was governed at 105. So, in a general rule, I drove 100 kilometers an hour. I set my cruise at 100 kilometers an hour. Now, yeah, there were times I wanted to drive faster, but having that extra 5 kilometer an hour availability to me allowed me that freedom, to pass somebody. So if at 100 kilometers an hour, I was catching up to another truck that was going a kilometer or 2 kilometers an hour slower than me, I was able to put my foot on that gas and get around that truck without screwing up traffic behind me or other trucks that didn't have speed limiters. And I don't understand, this is, why I don't understand why drivers can't do that. They seem to want to put their foot to the pedal, max out their speed, and then bitch about it afterwards. And so anyways, it gets me going because I see it going down the highway all the time, and I hear about drivers bitching and complaining about how it's not fair that they've got these speed limiters. They're dangerous. They're going to cause accidents. And yeah, they are going to cause accidents because unfortunately drivers don't know how to drive in a speed limited truck. And I don't want anyone to think I'm slamming on drivers. I'm not, because I'm actually on both sides of the fence on this. I'm just trying to give one side of the argument here right now. And of course, I've already done a little bit on the other side, and I'm going to get some more on the other side. But I want to hear from you guys. Guys, chime in. I've lost my mouse pointer. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget, I'm looking for somebody to call us on Skype. Pretty please. I'm begging now at this point. It's pretty sad. I'm on my knees. I'm begging because we need to test it out. We haven't really had an opportunity to test it other than amongst ourselves. So we want to hear from somebody, even if it's not to talk about the topic, even if you want to just call in and say hi. Yes, you will have to speak. Okay. Don't worry. There's no video involved. You won't be seen on video, but you do have to speak. So we can test it and see if it's going to work. I'm just putting that out there before we go to the break here. So if anyone, whether it be Duffy, Bill, John, Jason, Chris, that's online right now, anybody can call us, and you have Skype, call us. We're in there at Big Rig Talk. Or I don't know if you have to type in the full email address, or is it just Big Rig Talk? Eric is shaking his head saying, no.
Big Rig Talk.
They just type in Big Rig Talk.
I've done it 5 times last
He's
night.
done it 5 times. Okay. Yeah, but it's got to be kind of boring calling yourself. How did that conversation go?
That's pretty same stories.
The same stories? And you got all the jokes too, probably.
That's right.
That's pretty sad when you tell yourself a joke and you got the punchline right away.
Yeah, and I even laugh.
Doesn't make it funnier. Oh, Bill says it's a lot better right now, the sound. So, yeah.
That's because I've shut this mic off.
Yeah.
And I've shut it off here. So, after the break...
Can you guys hear Eric when he's talking right now? Well, you're supposed to talk, Eric.
I'm trying, but I think it's...
because I haven't got the mic set up properly here for two-way on the mic. So we're going to go to break. We're going to fix this mic so that Eric can chime in also. I'm going to move the laptop here. And, so just stick around, and we'll see you in a second or 2 or 3 or 4.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig Talk. If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slot, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
Hey, yes, there, Bob. We're back. I don't know how you're hearing me. We're probably echoing now because we're using the crappy mic.
Yeah.
Would you believe the crappy mic is the same as the good mic? But we don't know why. Eric bought it 2 different places, and so we're blaming it on that. We don't know if that's the reason, but okay, so hopefully we sound okay now.
See, you know what? The one that works good is the one I bought used off Kijiji.
I know, that's
the
pretty
crappy
bad.
one is the one I bought brand new in the box.
That's why it's Eric in the box. He gets to use the microphone. So he sounds like he's in a box. All right.
Well, we both sound like we're in a box today.
Yeah, so now we're both going to sound crappy. So there you go. All right. So any thoughts from any of you on speed limiters? I know Duffy was saying here he thought they already govern trucks federally. No, it's not mandated yet.
Actually, Jerry, we have an opportunity. We have Ian Duff calling us. Let's see if it works.
Oh, yeah, here's an idea. Let's give her a try. Are you there, Ian? Can you hear us? Oh, hold on.
Hold on, Ian.
I got to switch headsets, and now I got the tangled up headset. Are you there, Ian? Oh, I'm not hearing Ian.
To turn the volume up?
You got the... Oh, here we go. Now I can maybe hear you. How's it going, Ian? Good. How are we sounding at... Well, thank you very much, Ian. Okay, so excellent. Hopefully the listeners are able to hear you now. We don't know how that portion is working, so if anyone that's in the chat room right now can chime in as to whether they can hear Ian or not, it's a perfect opportunity for us to test out the Skype portion. So I take it you're at home right now, Ian? Are you still there? All right. Okay, excellent. Well, I'm guessing people aren't hearing Ian.
Oh, hang tight.
Oh, see.
Let's try now.
Eric screwed it up. Try. Yeah. See, this is the best part. So, say again what you just said there, Ian.
Okay, I'm just saying that if your listeners know that it's called Big Rig Talk is the name of your channel.
Excellent. Bill is saying he can't hear a thing, but I don't know if that was before or after because of there is a bit of a delay from what they're hearing, so maybe they'll hear that in a second here, and they can chime in whether they heard him that time or not. So what do you think of the idea of the show? Do you think this is something that, well, obviously you're chiming in.
Yeah.
You like the idea?
No, I think that speed limiters are a good idea on big trucks there. I don't think there's really a necessity for them to go much over 62 miles an hour.
No, I agree. The trucks really weren't built. Yes, they can go faster, obviously, but they weren't really designed to go that fast. And why everyone seems to think they have the need to do 70 and 80 miles an hour, hurtling down the highway with 80,000 pounds at those speeds is, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've never understood it. I've always, even when I had trucks that weren't limited and had the ability to do 70 and 80 miles an hour, I usually never went above 65. 65 was a comfortable cruising speed. I knew I had full control of the truck. And even at 65, you're going to take a while to stop. But if you anticipate it and you're looking for it, it makes things much easier for, getting clear of a situation or, hard braking or, avoiding steering off to the side or whatever. But right. I find these guys, they're going down the highway at 70 miles an hour, 10 feet from the bumper of the vehicle in front of them, and then wonder why when they hit the brakes, nothing happens. So,
what do you think of the trucks that have got the assistive stopping ability now with the radar sort of reaching out in front of the vehicle in front and warning them that there's something that's not right?
Yeah, see, now we did, when I was at Celadon, they did have trucks that were equipped with that, and the technology isn't there yet. It's too early because there's too many things that can interfere with the radar. We had a lot of problems. Now, I never had it in my truck, so I didn't know from personal experience. But from what I heard from drivers commenting on it, because they didn't last long with Celadon, they had them for a small trial period. I think there was about 70 trucks or so that had them. Could be a little bit more. They got rid of them fairly quick. They ended up, I think, only lasting about a year. The first winter was horrid. You get the grime and dirt coming off the vehicles in front and onto the roadway or onto the front bumper where the device was located, and trucks were just braking on their own. You'd get into a curve where there was a guardrail and the truck would start braking. So you almost, in essence, you lose total control, which is kind of terrifying if you're going down the road and you're anticipating certain things and all of a sudden your truck starts braking on you when you don't want it to. So are they a good idea? I don't know. I think that's at stretching the limit as far as the way they had them set up here. Now, I know Europe has it in their Mercedes. has a technology that's a little bit more advanced than what we had. Is it set up properly? Probably not. They still probably need to do 2, 3, 4 more years of testing in that before they actually put it out in the market. I think that what they have was put out in the market way too early, without proper testing, and without a big enough testing market. So just because up here in Canada those things just don't work. Whether they work in the southern U.S. or not, who knows? They don't have the snow down there like we do. And snow was affecting them. So
maybe
Eric
they have
is
to
just
be in
jumping up and down for joy right now. I have no idea why, but he's listening in apparently, and everything's working good.
I'm listening just in case you guys are talking behind my back.
Okay.
Maybe the sensor has to be in a different location. A different location,
radar
Jerry.
device goes, I'd give it a big X and a big no. What I do like seeing that the technology is improved in, and it comes back to the speed limiters and braking, is a lot of the new trailers and trucks they now have the option, unfortunately, because it is an expensive option, a lot of people aren't taking it, but the ability to have disc brakes. Now, disc brakes have come a long way, and disc brakes on a truck shorten the stopping distance, I believe, by 25% almost. And I don't know why that number's sticking in my head. I could be wrong with that. So if somebody knows the proper percentage or whatnot, feel free to chime in, whether it be in the chat window, anyone listening to the replay, or if anyone knows offhand right now, most certainly chime in for me. But it's the disc brakes is the way to go. I don't know why they're just not putting them on all vehicles, why they're even making it an option. It shouldn't even be an option. It should be just mandatory. Disc brakes on all the vehicles. If it's going to reduce the stopping time of that truck, then it should be mandatory.
It probably comes to cost too, right?
Well, yes, it's technology in general is more expensive. Look at the price of trucks. I mean, when I first went over the road, the average truck was costing, and I'm talking owner-operator specs, was costing $80,000 to $90,000. Okay, and they've gone up pretty much almost double in 20 years, and it's because of the technology. Fleet trucks, yes, you can still get them cheap if you're buying thousands of trucks, but in general, for the average Joe, the truck's going to cost, a brand new truck, whether it be Kenworth, Peterbilt, whatever. Well, obviously with the certain brands, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But you're talking $150,000, $160,000, and that's not fully loaded. That's not with the maximum things in it, if you will. Obviously, depending on accessories, the price is going to go up. But it's the price of trucks is phenomenal. So how any owner operator is making money out there with these trucks is beyond me nowadays. It's pretty tough when you're a one-man show buying a truck, definitely. Any other thoughts on that, Ian?
What about that idea of robotic trucks that drive themselves? Hello?
I lost Ian.
Yeah, hang tight, Ian.
Oh, that's Eric. Something's happened there.
All right.
Hello, testing.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying maybe you have some thoughts on the robotic trucks that can drive themselves, perhaps in a straight line across the Nevada desert for 1,000 miles, and then somebody else takes control of the truck when it gets to the other end.
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think they've been doing big testing on that in Europe. Okay, John was just saying I was talking over Ian. Yeah, that's because I couldn't hear Ian, so that's why, because Eric had plugged in his headset. So Eric could hear Ian, but I couldn't. So, but anyway, whatever the case is, we've got that fixed now. But yeah, as far as the robotic trucks go, I can see that happening. Where you're going to have, I don't know what to call it. They've seen it in an article where it's like convoying, or where you're going to have 2-3 trucks that are going to go in line, and basically you'll have like the lead truck is going to be the operator. Each truck will have a person in it, but they don't necessarily have to touch the steering wheel. But the roadways aren't fully set up for it yet, because they have to have the sensors built into the roadways, which is what they've done in Europe in a lot of places for the testing. I think it's Mercedes or Volvo that's doing the big testing on that. But here, again, that's something that I think that right now would only really work in the southern U.S. I don't think that would work up here in Canada or northern U.S. as far as for the weather conditions in the wintertime. I don't know how well that would work. But hey, that's again, it's early in its testing phases, so I think we've got a good 5 to 10 years before we see anything realistic coming out on the highways as far as that goes. But other than that, do I want to see it? I don't know. I think it takes away from the charm of trucking in a way. The whole idea of sitting behind the wheel, putting it down the highway, you being in control. So, at any rate, I want to thank you for calling in there, Ian.
Okay, no problem, and I hope I'll listen to the rest of your show on the radio.
All right, thank you very much, and we're going to just open it up for anyone else that may want to call in here.
Okay, and I'll bid you adieu.
Thank you very much, Ian. So, for anyone else that may want to chime in and test out Skype and call in, we'd appreciate it. Duffy says robotic vehicles. I'm not just sure about that idea. Yeah, I like the idea. It's futuristic, but I'm not.
Did they ever talk about the cost of these trucks?
No, I don't think that right now. It's the cost of the robotic trucks would be. It's so up there that it's like Donald Trump buying a plane. Does he ask how much it costs? No, he just goes out and buys it, right? Just because it's unique. So nobody's really going to get into that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Well, it's like electric vehicles. Look when electric cars first came out.
Yes.
They're ridiculously expensive. Same with the hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculously expensive. But as the demand increased for it, the prices come down.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you build something where it's just a one of or a two of, it's going to be ridiculously expensive. But when you're manufacturing thousands and thousands of parts for these vehicles, the price is going to come down because the cost comes down.
Right.
But like I said, I think it's a long time before we're going to even see that. I don't even think to be honest with you, I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Although a lot has happened in 50 years when you look at technology. So, hey, maybe we'll be flying our trucks across the desert. I don't know. We could be, hover trucks. Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? A hover truck. That would be actually really neat to see. Mm-hmm. Kind of brings me back to the movie Back to the Future there, with the hoverboards and the cars just floating down the road there. I think that would be cool to see a truck floating down the road. If all of a sudden, a deer runs out in front of you, what happens? Do you actually hit the deer, or do you just hover over top of it? I don't know.
And then
rip its antlers off or something.
Right.
I don't know. That would be kind of gruesome, wouldn't it? You have a set of antlers sticking out of the bottom of your truck, or I don't know. We're just getting weird here. Okay, I think I want to do some more on the dissecting of the topic. We're going to get back to that in a second, but right now, it's a quick break.
Hi everyone, producer Eric here from Big Rig Talk. If you have a product or service related to the trucking industry, we would like to offer you free advertising for your business. Whether you offer overflow parking, a repair shop, or even if you need to recruit a couple of drivers for your growing business, we will advertise it for you. How can you advertise? Simply email us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com to find out what time slots are available. Once you're happy with the time slot, we will ask you to record your commercial. All we need from you is the voiceover. We can add sound effects and a jingle. Once the commercial is completed, we will send it back to you and get your approval. And there are no catches. This is 100% free until further notice. Don't wait any longer. Get your business out in a content-rich environment. Email us today at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com. Do you have a show idea? Contact us at bigrigtalkshow@gmail.com.
Yes, sir, Bob. We're back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're flying into the final segment of our show today. And I want to, before we get into the wrap up here, I just want to kind of chime in on this one final thing here that I want to dissect. And it said in the section here, it said the Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association, which represents small business and truckers, slammed the proposal. Highways are, and in case you're wondering, Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association is OIDA. Highways are safest when all vehicles travel at the same relative speed, said Todd Spencer, Executive Vice President of the OIDA, in a release. And this is what I want to touch on here. Like, really, if the government is so concerned about safety on the highways and limiting the number of crashes that are going on, instead of going after the trucks, how about you just lower the damn speed limits? Never mind these 80, 85 mile an hour. Yes, it may be open road, but it shouldn't be open road on driving at the speed of light. You know, how safe can doing 85 miles an hour, I don't care if it's flat, I don't care if it's across the prairies, wherever. How safe can doing 85 miles an hour, because I know some speeds have these 85 mile an hour speed limits, how safe can that really be? And I'm not talking for trucks, I'm talking for cars. We've seen the way these idiots drive. Mm-hmm. They can barely do 50 and 60 miles an hour on the road. You know, half these people got their license out of a Cracker Jack box or they won the lottery. One or the other, I'm not sure which. Possibly both. They won the lottery and went and bought a Cracker Jack box. I don't know.
Do they even still make Cracker Jack?
I don't know. But, you know, when I was at the fair on the weekend, last weekend, I had the caramel popcorn. I mean, I just love that stuff. I haven't had it in so long. And I said to them, I said, you know, I really need to go out and see if they have the Cracker Jack, you know, which was what it used to be. But anyway, yeah. So, really, if the government is so worried about the speed, instead of putting speed limiters on trucks, here's an idea: lower the damn speed limit for everybody. One speed limit for everybody. Now, I know each state, each highway is going to be responsible for their own speed limits, but let's make it even. Never mind the split speed limits. That drives me nuts. Michigan was the worst for the longest time. I mean, they had 55. I mean, it's gone up since. But I remember for the longest time they had a 65 mile an hour or 55 mile an hour truck speed limit and 70 mile an hour car speed limit. Now, how safe can that possibly be? Mm-hmm. And they went after the trucks like there was no tomorrow. I mean, you did 57, 58 miles an hour, and chances are there was a Michigan State Trooper on your ass. So when you pass somebody, you had to be careful to make sure there was no cops around. And that, you wanted to make sure there was no cars flying up your ass at 70 miles an hour that, you know, wasn't paying attention. So I think this is where they need to focus. Never mind the speed limiter bullshit. Pardon my language, but it just does heat me up. And now I know I was for it in one segment here, and now I'm telling you the part where I'm against it. I just think it's wrong that they're going to... I mean, yes, trucks are regulated, they're federal, blah, 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 blah. Cry me a river. Let's do it for everybody, okay? And when it comes to speed, you can't just slow the trucks down and expect everything, all the problems to go away. It's not going to happen. You got to slow everybody down. One speed limit. Make it 65 miles an hour. Now, there's the unfortunate part. There are companies out there that govern their trucks at 62 miles an hour. Well, okay, maybe that's an indicator that we need to put the road speed limits at 65 miles an hour max everywhere, across the country. That's it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. 65 miles an hour, boom. And then put enforcement out there. Never mind this, yeah, we're going to put the speed limit at 65, but if there's nobody out there to enforce it, it don't matter. The cars are going to do 70, 75 miles an hour, and it's not going to make a hill of beans, you know? So the enforcement's got to be there too. Never mind putting all the onus on the truck drivers. Let's kind of put the blame where it is, because, you know, they sit there and say, oh, we want to make the road safer, but when you look at the statistics, most of the accidents are caused by the car driver. So why in the heck are they putting it on us to slow us down, but not the cars? But anyway, I said enough. Hopefully you guys are going to chime in that are going to listen to the replay. Don't forget to hit that like button, that little heart button there on the left up top. Share us on your Facebook page. Share us with your friends. Share us with everyone you know. Tell your work about it. Tell everybody about it. And Duffy says they do still make Cracker Jack. The question is, do they still make it up here in Canada?
I don't know.
Oh, no, wait. Duffy is in Canada. He's out west. That's Calgary. You people are Alberta. You guys are just weird out there.
They have
anyways.
all the good stuff.
They have all the good stuff.
Yeah.
They have everything good out there.
I think we got too many politicians here. That's why, you know.
Hey, I know. I got to give a big shout out. I'm really happy to see this. Trucker Jukebox has chimed in on live chat. Now, we could have gotten you to call in. Trucker Jukebox, Larry, we got to get you to call in next week, okay, buddy? I really want to hear from you. Yeah, we definitely got to hear. Anyone who does not know Trucker Jukebox, I want you to go right now to YouTube, type in Trucker Jukebox. He's pretty much taken over where I've left off. He's doing the driving videos that you guys have been wanting. He's doing life in the trucks. You guys really got to chime into Trucker Jukebox and subscribe to his YouTube channel, guys. Please, please, please. He does some really great videos, and I don't think he's getting the recognition that he should. But yeah, we definitely got to, guys, chime into Trucker Jukebox. So glad to hear and see you there, Larry. We're wrapping it up here today, but yeah, hopefully next week you can call in and we can actually maybe do something with you on air and get your thoughts, being a YouTube trucker and being out there. We still haven't gotten a topic for next week's show.
No, we don't know.
And that's pretty bad, but I'm going to come up with something this afternoon, tomorrow. I'm going to post it, and so you guys can get ready for that for next week. I'm almost thinking I'd like to see if I can get Trucker Jukebox to call us in, and maybe Trucker Rudy.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if I can get Trucker Rudy in. I know I'm not going to get... I'd like to get Allie Knight and Trucker Josh and whatnot in, but I really want to get Trucker Rudy and Trucker Jukebox maybe to call in and be on the show at the same time. That would be cool. We could test out Skype with a three-way. Whoa, that sounds wrong.
Easy.
That sounds...
Easy.
I just went somewhere where I shouldn't have gone.
We're going to have to edit that part with a beep.
Oh, most definitely. So, but anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's little segment. I know we didn't touch on it. You know, we almost have to expand the show to get on these big topics.
Yeah, absolutely. I think...
Oh, here's another poll I want to put out for you guys. And we're not doing much of a wrap-up, but I want you guys... I'm going to put it on the website.
Oh, we still got 7 minutes.
Yeah, go to bigrigtalk.com. I'm going to set it up there this afternoon. Hopefully I'll have time. If not, it'll definitely be up there by tomorrow. But I want you guys to keep an eye on bigrigtalk.com. Go there. I'm going to put a poll up. We're trying to see, is this a good time for you guys for listening to the show? Is Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time a good time? Is there a better time that you would like? So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to chime in. We're going to leave it up there for probably a few weeks for sure before we do anything. So we're still going to run next week at our normal time, the week after at our normal time. But I want to make sure that we're running at the best possible time for you guys. I figured Saturday afternoons was good because either you guys are doing resets at the truck stops or, you know, your weekends may not be as heavy as your weekdays. So, you know, I was figuring 2 o'clock in the afternoon was a good time because those other trucking shows that are on are usually done by now. So it gives you an opportunity to listen to those other trucking shows and then, you know, tune over to ours and listen to our show. Plus, we need your support, guys. Hit that like button. The more times you hit that like button, the better it is for us. We are hopefully we're going to work on trying to get onto iHeartRadio and get this put in there. But we need your support for that. Trucker Jukebox says he will do, so he's going to try. We're going to get it set up with him. I'll touch base with you during the week, Larry, and we'll get it all set up for you to call in next Saturday. And he mentions parking issues could be a good topic.
Absolutely.
So we could talk about parking issues. I know there seems to be a shortage of parking, always in the areas where you run out of hours, and you know where you need to try to find a parking spot. So we could touch a bit on that one next week too, possibly. Again, I'm revamping the website, guys. The show is going to have its own page on the website. And we can do parking issues and favorite truck stops from what Bill was saying. So you can chime in on your favorite truck stops to go to, plus we can talk about the parking issues. But yeah, I'm going to dedicate a page on the website just to the show where we'll have topic ideas. I'm going to set up the poll so you guys can chime in as far as what time period you'd like to hear the show live. What's best for you to hear it? Or does it really matter? Because I know some of you are going to you're going to download it or listen to the show afterwards at your own leisure. That's the nice part about this. Just because you missed the live portion doesn't mean that you can't listen to the show. And that's what we really like about this format. So, Bill also chimes in where to stop and not to stop. Yeah, safe places, safe havens, things like that.
I see that every day on Bank Street, every single day.
Trucks just
barking, blocking entryways. And,
parking overnight.
And the thing is, a guy like me, I understand the guy's hungry, he wants to eat.
Yeah.
But, it's sometimes it can be quite a challenge, even for, for somebody trying to turn into a parking spot thinking that they're open, but no, the truck is blocking it. So it's quite the challenge someday, especially around lunchtime.
Well, I know, and a lot of people, little food stands, little restaurants, they aren't equipped for trucks.
No.
But yet trucks are still trying to get into them.
Yeah.
But I think when Bill was saying safe spots, there is the issue in the U.S. where there's been a number of drivers killed. Mm-hmm. But it comes down to awareness of your surroundings and not parking in those abandoned, industrial parking lots. Mm-hmm. Any place abandoned is most definitely not a good place to be parking. But again, that comes down to the shortage of parking, and also, you can't blame them because they want to get a jump on their next day, so they're going to park as close to their customer as they can just so they can get in there nice and quick and early. Well, at that point, I always went for let's go for the well-lit, well-populated truck stop. And, well, then that just means we have to leave a little bit earlier to get to the customer. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? What, you got anything planned for this week, Eric? You guys have opened officially now, haven't you?
We have, yeah. It's been crazy all week. It's, we're basically between the small town in southern Ontario. Well, not southern Ontario, I would say, south of Ottawa and Ottawa. So people are not having to drive into the city anymore. Right,
so now you're getting a lot of the guys.
Exactly, we're getting a lot of guys.
And
Exactly, in Winchester and
all
Chesterville, all the small areas. Towns. Yeah,
cool.
So it's we've actually been caught with our pants down because we weren't expecting.
That's X-rated, dude.
Well,
we don't want to see you with your
in
pants
the scrapyard.
down.
Anything happens.
Oh my gosh, scrap business is crazy.
Jeez. But yeah, we were very surprised with the outcome.
Wow, geez. Well, it's good for business.
It is. But now that
because now you can, your bosses are in Hamilton, so you can say, hey,
well,
look,
they're in Kingston.
Well, excuse me, they're not here in Ottawa.
No, they're not here.
So you can show your boss, hey, look, this is going good.
See how smart I am?
Yeah, there you go. It's only a bonus for you, Eric. For me, I got a new bus, a new/old bus this week. That's my excitement for the week. I asked for a bus with an air seat. I got one with a hydraulic seat.
How do you feel about it?
Can you tell by my silence? Not too sure. But, I don't want to rock the boat too much. I did ask for a bus with a better seat. This is what they gave me. Mm-hmm. It's not the worst. It's not the best.
So the way it works in the bus industry, school bus, does it go by seniority by the type of bus you have, or does it go with the route?
I think a lot of it, they've assigned the buses to the route, and obviously the senior drivers are going to get the newer buses and whatnot. But even, to be honest with you, the new Bluebirds, the seat sucks in them. It's a rigid seat. I don't know who, when they ordered these buses, get these new buses and put a rigid seat in it. Why would you not think of your driver who's sitting in the bus? Whether it be the hydraulic seat, which is not the best, but it's sure better than a rigid seat, or just go air seat. Because these aren't air brake buses or anything like that. There's less stuff to break down. They do have little air compressors in them. I don't know, maybe they're high maintenance. I don't know. I don't know enough about them. I've never driven a vehicle that had an air system without having air brakes, so it's not the full air system. They have just these little mini electric compressors with a small tank, because the only thing the air is powering is the air seat or a few minor items. So,
right.
And I'm going to do a thing on my bus because it's got the yellow knob like an air brake, but it's not an air brake.
Oh.
I've seen it before on the hydraulic ones, but it acts differently on those hydraulic ones. So this is, I don't know if it's an air over hydraulic or what it is.
It's probably like operating a loader.
Because there is an air compressor on this bus. But, because I hear it going off, but it's electric.
Right.
So I really don't know. It's weird. So
yeah,
it's because you pull the yellow button to apply the parking brake, but it doesn't stay out. You just pull it, hold it, the light comes on, you let go, and it goes back to neutral position.
Oh.
Just like when you go to release it, you push the yellow button, you hold it for a second, the brake releases, you let go, it goes back to the neutral position. It's almost like it's spring-loaded, so it's kind of weird. I've never seen that kind of system before.
Yeah.
So, but at any rate. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up here. That's it. That's all for this week. Make sure to check out the website, bigregtalk.com. Don't forget, please, please, please hit that like button. It's going to help us out for our attempt in hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks to put our application in for iHeartRadio, which will expand ourselves. Also, don't forget, I'm gonna put that poll up, and you guys can fill it out as far as what's the best time for you. Until then, I'm Jerry. This is Eric. We're saying goodbye. Have a great, fantastic week, and keep the shiny side up.